Hello and welcome to Theme Park Information. In today's show we have got a review for Emerald Park, located quite close to Dublin in Ireland. This is the first time I've ever visited this park, and I will be honest, I both really enjoyed it, but there are a few issues here and there which kind of need to be addressed. So let me just get started. So to get to the park, you actually took a bus from Dublin City Centre, which was actually fairly simple, but could be better. For example, it still had the information for when it was previously called Tayto Park and stuff like that, which was a little bit, not to say confusing, but it could be for someone who doesn't know. And I also will be honest, the other sort of issue I do have relating to the bus is that when I was waiting for it to return, there was no like the bus stop wasn't covered or didn't have many seating and stuff like that. And it's like, it's fine if the bus runs frequently, but it was quite a wait for it to arrive back. So I'd say some improvements there. I don't know if that would be for the park or for just like the bus company, or potentially for them both, just to improve that experience a little bit. I mean, it was quite affordable, it was running pretty efficiently and stuff like that, and it was quite convenient and stuff like that. So it does get a huge tick. It is very doable, which is the main point. But yeah, that was just just little improvements just around like the sort of like infrastructure on it would be really appreciated. As for the park itself, it was really impressive actually. They have two major coasters, a wooden roller coaster and the recently opened suspended coaster at the moment. They haven't fully finished the area, which is kind of a point at the moment, or an issue, because obviously there are parts of it which don't look anywhere near as good as they could be. But obviously I am under the impression that obviously at some point that will be finished, and therefore it will look really good. And I'd say they actually have a really good ride collection with those two major attractions. Their wooden roller coaster in particular is long, aggressive, has great airtime, and they were doing a fantastic job on operations on that. Everything else, unfortunately, was quite poor operational rides. We had one train ops on a lot of it. Obviously, some of those rides, like they had the Chase, for example, which is just like a family boomerang that is only ever going to have one train. So yeah, there is limitations there. They had their water ride, like Viking Voyage or something along those lines, and that has an interesting issue where the ride itself is really good fun. It's well themed, has really kind of good. It's just how you board the boat and that sort of section there, just really poor, really disorganised, and just a bit of a free-for-all. It doesn't really work particularly well, and I just feel that could be massively improved with like its own queue lines and stuff like that. And then someone stood there. It just didn't really work particularly well, and especially on that day for whatever reason. Food-wise, I actually thought the food at the park was really pretty good, and maybe it wasn't necessarily value for money, but you didn't feel you were being ripped off with it. Like, I spent like €3 on like an ice cream, but it was a large ice cream. I got a lot of ice cream for though, just €3. I think I spent €8-9 on like a pizza. It wasn't the world's largest pizza, but it was at least really tasty and really warm and stuff like that. And it was just like, yeah, this is good food. Nothing fantastic, but nothing terrible. It wasn't horrendously overpriced for something which was awful, but it was just generally good. I thought the park was really clean and tidy. Obviously, as I said, there were certain points where it was a bit obviously noticeable that they hadn't quite finished certain areas, and they were still doing bits and pieces around the park, which is understandable. They've just recently opened obviously a huge new development, so I will give them off that it's not fully done. I do think the prices are a bit high. It was about €43 to go, which did seem a bit steep. I'm not sure why it isn't just like 40 or so. That would be a much more affordable price. And as I say, it's a park which does have those few issues. I say where rides aren't finished, small issues with transport, some rides not really being at full capacity or not really running smoothly. But in fairness, the staff were really good. They were really friendly. There were lots of staff as well. The park was kept really clean and tidy. And as I say, these things can be addressed. Like, that is all I will say with this park. It is well worth visiting, even though in fairness I probably won't go back for quite a few years, just because they obviously kind of really need to open some new stuff for me to pop back to it. But for a trip, so convenient, really good if you're like theme park enthusiast in the UK to take the trip across to Ireland. And as I say, you could get public transport, or also obviously you could always rent a car, and as I say, they did have quite a lot of car parking and stuff like that as well. So as I say, really good park, really good positives, and obviously I probably would recommend visiting it, especially if it's your first time. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.